When I was approached by the team handling the release of the Goddess Order game about doing a promotion for its launch, I will say I was intrigued. Goddess Order is a new mobile game for iOS and Android devices that's a side-scrolling action RPG from the same developers as the game Crusader Quests. I say I was intrigued because it's a genre of game I don't have a lot of experience with. Action RPGs like God of War 2018 worked for me, but probably because I was already invested in the main character from the previous games that were more like games I usually enjoy. But longtime viewers would probably know that I've never had a close relationship with traditional JRPGs with turn-based combat. I can name like 4 that I've played with any level of depth, and I never got into the one of those that was considered a good game. The rest I have played were for franchise loyalty, and I didn't even really like those games. I never thought RPGs were bad, I just haven't played enough of them to say for sure. But I definitely felt like they were not my thing, so I just never was curious about them. I always thought a more active approach to combat and gameplay was more my speed. Think of something like Devil May Cry as an example, but I've had my mind opened a little bit. I have recently gotten into the new game, Expedition 33, and I think its approach to turn-based gameplay with dodge and parry mechanics was really compelling. I haven't beaten it yet, but the game has been pretty fun to play so far, and only here it gets better from where I've left off. As of recording this voiceover though, I've now almost beat the game, and I think it is literally the best game I've played all year, like one of the best games I've played in years. Everyone's got to play it, like right now. As of editing this though, I have beaten the game. Everyone really should go play it. It's like game of the decade material. But that's an aside from the current topic. My point is that when I was pitched on playing a mobile phone action RPG, I wanted to give it a shot because it also had a focus on parry and dodge mechanics, and that was interesting to me, so I decided I'd do it. It's a break from the norm for me, both because I don't often play RPGs, but also because I don't really play mobile games either. So I downloaded the early access version I was provided with and took it from there. In it, you control Princess Lisbeth of the Kingdom of Kaplan. She has a vision of the violent deaths of her friends Jan and Violet in a battle and now seeks to prevent it as she's an active part of the army and proficient with a sword herself. As your goal for the game is to outsmart a prophecy and save the world on the brink of ruin. As I said, this game is not a turn-based RPG, but a side-scrolling action RPG. I wasn't sure how it was going to work until you walk into your first battle just a few minutes in. You can use the circle pad on the left-hand side of the touchscreen to move around, and you'll rush towards the enemies and press the attack button on the right-hand side of the screen to do a basic combo. At the end of battles, you'll earn rewards that allow you to upgrade the stats of your various party members. With each of the early battles, the player is tutorialized on a new mechanic. The first one teaches you how to move and do the basic attack, but then the second shows you your special attack, which needs time to build up. But for Lisbeth, it allows her to uppercut jump swing with her sword. Then, the next battle introduces you to parrying mechanics. This shield icon in the bottom right, if pressed with the right timing, will block incoming attacks and give you a small window to counterattack with. And the next fight teaches you how to evade incoming attacks that can't be outright blocked. I feel like all these touch controls were pretty intuitive and easy to snap between, to the point where I started thinking combat was pretty compelling in this game, especially once Lisbeth links up with Violet. This is how team-based combat is introduced. And you see how you can switch characters with the press of a button on screen and have 2 characters on screen doing attacks briefly to maximize the damage you're doing. Violet fights with guns instead of a sword, so you can be doing your sword attacks, switch characters, and then continue your attack from afar with bullets. But then you also unlock Jan in your party, who will swing a heavy weapon for bigger damage with slower attacks. Once you had 3 members in your party, I thought the game was fun to play as you can switch between the 3 for satisfying combo attacks. You can only have 3 characters in battle at a time, and when your party expands, that will give you more options and ways to make your battles your own. Every knight has their own element and pro and con, and switching between them to maximize use of specials and managing the cooldown meters is the name of the game, while you unlock different summons and can use different skills in battle to see what works for you. The combat feels responsive and is fun to play and has on-the-fly thinking. It really is offering a decent amount of options in reactive gameplay for a mobile phone title. Traversal also feels natural in this game. After the opening tutorial battles, you get to name your squad at the castle and are introduced to how navigation really works. There will be a mini-map in the top right corner of the screen which will tell you where to go and it will be easy to follow. New areas are shining at the entrance so you know what's interactable and what isn't. New quests are easy to keep track of in the quest log and easy to receive from the carrier pigeon. Fast travel to the different areas is also a few easy taps of the screen away. So like combat, navigation is very intuitive. I also felt like it was easy to upgrade your gear and understand the menus with just using stuff I was unlocking from battles, which I thought was good. And also, you get to play the game a lot too. There will be a lot of story scenes, But the cutscene to gameplay ratio is balanced. After the intro cutscene, where a lot of basics are established, you'll get multiple battles back to back teaching you the mechanics, like I went into earlier. Then more story, but the game keeps you in the action as much as possible. For example, you can watch the cutscenes as is, but with the press of a button, you can watch the cutscenes at 1.5 speed. There will sometimes be moments where you need to react mid-scene by tapping the screen, so you need to pay attention to that too. Or you can press a button to see what the cutscene was about and then skip it, which is a perfect option for someone who is, say, playing the game on the bus or in the backseat of a car or slacking at work and you want to make progress without having to watch a lot of story dialogue. The plot is an involved part of the game as it has a big cast of characters with differing personalities and dynamics at work, but I'm just saying that the game does also consider the time of those who want to maximize their gameplay time while playing on their phone. There will also be the occasional anime cutscene as well, which was a visually pleasing surprise since I thought the game was just going to be pixel graphics. The options menu lets you choose between what language the game is going to be, a choice of frame rate between 60 and 30 FPS, and volume sliders with different settings to customize to your liking. I also really like the visuals. The game is using a pixel art style for its world. The presentation kind of reminded me of a DS-era game like, say, Ace Attorney Investigations, where there'll be these detailed sprites of the characters in the overworld and then the battles, but then in the more story-heavy moments you'll have these well-drawn portraits of the characters with dialogue alongside them. There are also cutscenes done with the pixel graphics in-game as well. These look pretty well done too, with a cinematic element to how they're framed. So it has a nostalgic appeal from pixelated games, but it also is able to do more with it how the story is told via pixelated graphics than a game from 30 years ago might have been able to.
정신 차려요. 기절했어. 바이올렛, 얀. 이 소녀는 우리의 눈. 게다가 검 이대로 두고 갈 수 없어.
임기응변은 통하지 않. 책이면서 사람인 존재. 기어이 나타나고만. 그나저나 저게 왕녀의 실력인가? 서둘러.
On launch, players will have access to 6 chapters of the main story, with more to come in the future. You'll be able to do alliance missions with your friends or other players online, partake in a PvP Night Grand Prix mode with ranking content, and clear difficult dungeons for more rewards and resources, alongside fighting weekly boss raids in the Black Rift that unlocks after you complete Chapter 4. The game is available today and has pre-registration events and rewards still available to players who download it at launch, such as getting the Knight, Tia, 10 summon tickets, and an exclusive profile frame for when you download the game at launch. There'll be a lot of community launch events to stay tuned for, as you'll have over 20 unique Knights to play as at launch too. So for anyone who likes mobile games and action RPGs, I'd certainly recommend this game. I thought the combat was interesting and compelling in ways I didn't expect, and it brings alongside a grand story too. It's an ambitious mobile phone RPG. If you want to try it, you can find it on the App Store of your mobile device. At minimum, it's recommended to have a Galaxy S8 or an iPhone 11, but it's more recommended that you have a Galaxy S21 or an iPhone 13 or later, with no PC version in sight at this moment in time. I certainly thought it was an interesting time and will continue my playthrough after the video is public. But that's about all I really have to say about this game. I thank the people behind the game for reaching out and sponsoring the video, and I recommend anyone download the game since it's available now. But while we are here, I figured I'd use this ending as a chance to update folks on what's going on with the channel in the foreseeable future. I just wrapped up the Metal Gear Revisited saga with the big MGS timeline video, so for those who watched and enjoyed it, I thank you. And if you did, let me know below, because I wanted to make more timeline-type videos for other franchises, because I enjoyed making the 2 that I did. The Sonic one proved a lot more popular than the Metal Gear one, so again, if you liked it, let me know. Coming up, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is coming out in the next couple of days, so I'll be giving my thoughts on that right as it releases. And then I have some ideas for franchises I'd like to talk about that I've never done before, starting right after Sonic in October, while also sprinkling in videos on subjects you guys have been more used to, like Sonic or Mega Man. Later this year, there's going to be a revisit to Shadow Generations planned, and even a retrospective on the Mega Man Legends series towards the end of the year. So there's a lot of exciting content to look forward to, including a big celebration of my 10th anniversary on YouTube, which is coming up in November. I have a big plan for how I'm going to go about it, and I hope people look forward to that. But that's about all the time we have for today. So again, if you're interested in Goddess Order, the game is available today, and as I said, there's pre-registration events and rewards still available to players who download it at launch today. Extra characters, summon tickets, exclusive profiles, and community events to stay tuned for. All out available right now. So, check the game out. But now I'll close the video by saying what I always do. If you made it this far into the video, I'll say, you've seen everything. Go outside. I even managed to squeeze the Sly Cooper reference into this video as well. Y'all take care now.